When I was 13, I lost my mom to cancer. It's something that I have never really talked about before.
It's hard to see a parent who cares for you and who is the provider become sort of childlike and helpless and need assistance. And it's hard because you know that devastates them in every way possible and goes against every parental bone in their body.
And I remember my mom coming out of the hospital room and saying, "Prepare yourselves. This is not who you grew up with." And it took him a few minutes to recognize us, and I held his hand, and he looked at me and he said, "My baby."
Yeah, my dad didn't like being at the hospital, and I always felt bad for him knowing that he had to go there. At one point they had to strap him into the bed because he kept just trying to walk out of the hospital, like not wearing clothes, just leave the hospital, and he kept saying, "I want to see my kids, I want to go home."
I don't think I cried. I think I felt horrible, but I don't like people seeing me cry. I hate that. I don't like showing weakness myself.
It never occurred to me that she was going to pass away. I knew she was sick, but I had never thought about when the day would come that we would lose her.
We got in the car. I'm pretty sure that no one said a word. I think that I could hear my siblings sobbing, and I think I almost ripped through the leather seats.
And she was really like fighting to like stay awake, and I could see there was so much pain, and when she opened her eyes, it was really hard. It was very hard to look at, actually.
And my mom came out of the room and just shook her head.
And then I literally was 10 minutes away in the car, and I got the phone call that he had died. So
He ended up not being able to have the surgery and fell into a coma, and all of our family came to the hospital, and that was the end of that.
When I thought about my dad dying, I sort of had this irrational thought that the world could not possibly exist without him, and so I was sort of waiting for him to go, and I sort of thought that I would just poof, and I didn't. Because you don't.
I remember trying to be strong because I had two younger brothers that it was very important to me that they looked up to me, and I wanted to be a good example. There's nothing really to be a good example of, but I didn't know that at the time.
There was really nothing to say. Sometimes there's just nothing you can say. So for me, it was almost as though I was really alone, even though I had so many people that were willing to help me.
I remember really not wanting to talk about it.
And at first, I cried all the time.
I didn't cry that much. I think I can count on one hand the amount of times I cried my junior year.
I think when he passed away, I truly felt what rock bottom felt like. And I honestly wanted to be committed to a mental institution. And then I started to really think about that, and I realized I just wanted someone to take care of me because my dad left and he took care of me.
I always say this, that there's really no right thing to say, because there really isn't anything that you can say that's going to take away the pain and the sadness. But there are definitely wrong things to say.
You learn a lot about human nature throughout something like this. You learn that some people just can't handle it, and those people really aren't worth your time. And you learn that some people are loyal and unbelievable and empathetic and will stick by you no matter what, and those people are worth your time.
I really felt like talking to somebody who knew what I felt was so helpful, and just being able to get that guidance and that strength from their bravery.
I bought a journal, and then I just started to write without any intention, just write things down, and I think that's when I really started to get better, because I remember writing a letter to my dad, telling him, like, I wish he didn't go.
I wouldn't say time heals, because I just don't think there is enough time. I don't think I have enough time on this earth to ever get over the loss of my dad. I just don't think there would ever be enough time. But time helps.
So then I think that I just started to get into this mindset that you can have a good life in a bad world, and the things that make up a day are the little things you do to take care of yourself.
And I'll say this till the day I die, I would rather have my dad for 15 years than someone else's dad for my whole life. And I don't think that'll ever change.